Hi everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jaime. I am new here at IN8life In Murrysville, and I am on a quest to find out if Dr. Tressler and Dr. McCauley can actually figure out what is wrong with me through my symptoms. So basically, I'm going to explain to you secretly what my symptoms are. I made sure that Dr. Tressler has no idea what they are. The only thing he does know is that I have a thyroid issue. Above and beyond that, I'm going to share with you guys basically my health history of things that I'm suffering with. And then we're gonna see if what he tells me from just looking at my x-rays correlate to what I'm telling you guys. So let's get started on my health symptoms. So initially with chiropractic care, I know you would typically obviously think about pain, body pains. And as far as that goes, I consistently have a pain that shoots down my right side of my buttocks, down into my leg. I do have right leg numbness all the time. And I will have shooting pains down my leg. It's very hard for me to sleep. My hips feel like they're always just misaligned. So it's very hard for me to get comfortable and stay comfortable through a night's worth of sleep. I am unable to, I hike a lot, and so I'm unable to do that because of the pain down my right side. Beyond that, I do have a thyroid issue. I have been diagnosed with Hashimoto's. I have vitiligo, which is a skin condition that is like a byproduct of Hashimoto's. I have tremendous digestive issues that affect my bowels. I do suffer at times with a dizziness that seems to stem from my inner ears. I did actually see a specialist about that, and they could not find anything wrong internally with my ears. So it just so happens that there are days that I'll wake up and I'll be dizzy for no reason, but I can feel like a fluid in my ear and I guess a background noise sometimes. So there's that. My sicknesses typically always go to my glands. So I know like when most people get sick, you typically get a specific something. I specifically always get swollen glands and strep throat. Above and beyond that, I will get some gallbladder pain, and the only things I have found to help relieve any of these symptoms is a non-inflammatory food diet. But that isn't always working either because I'm still in pain. So, all right. I think that about sums it up. We'll see what Dr. Tressler has to say just from viewing my x-rays and see how that goes.
Okay, so Dr. Tressler here, and I'm going to go over Jamie's x-rays. I don't know anything about her besides she has a thyroid issue. So I'm going to analyze her x-rays and explain typically what we could see. We can't predict it 100%, but the way the spine is aligned, where the nerves connect, it's very typical of these type of problems. So here's Jamie's neck. Now there should be a curve there like this. So without having a curve, and 1, 2, 3, 4, it kinks backwards right in the middle. There's already degenerative changes in the area that supplies her thyroid. So if I hadn't known she had a thyroid problem, I would say that can cause thyroid issues, because the exact area that supplies the thyroid, it's in a degenerative state, degenerative disc disease, which means it's been out of alignment for a long time. Now, because the neck is straight, this puts tremendous tension across the neck, down across the shoulders, in between the shoulder blades. So typically, we're left with chronic tension. Chronic tension in our shoulders always feel like we need to be massaged or stretched out or use a massage tool. It pulls on the back of the head, which can cause a lot of headaches. So typical headaches or migraines or visual problems, a weakened immune system, always fighting in wintertime, common colds, things like that. But mainly thyroid, tension, headaches, just not feeling good. Also, when the neck is stretched like that, the brainstem is being tractioned, which eyes, ears, nose, and throat, but a lot of sleeping issues. People will say one of the first things they see is my energy was restored and I sleep better. So that's what I see from that. So we go to her low back. She has some curve. It's not a great curve, but you can see the disc spacing in the upper lumbar is pretty good. When we go to L4 and L5, again, she has degenerative disc disease. So there's compression of that disc. Typically, low back pain, chronic pain, where you sit too long and you go to get up and you're stretching. Like, oh God, it's just so tight. Could be sciatic, but these nerves also go to the bowels, the bladder, reproductive system. When we see degenerative changes, we'll hear a lot, I had horrible menstrual cramps when I was younger, but they went away. But now I have Crohn's or colitis or bowel issues, chronic constipation or chronic diarrhea, or just a mix of things. Could be, especially with women with bladder. I typically get bladder infections. They don't know why. Well, when there's compression of a disc, there's compression of a nerve. These nerves that attach to the bladder, the bowels, the reproductive system, in men, the prostate, they start, as we age, they start to break down. So back pain and all those issues. And it's funny, like when we go over case history like this, we'll say to somebody, they're like, well, I don't have that. And we'll always say, yet. Because if this keeps compressing, eventually you will, because that's where they're connected to. We look at the low back from behind. Here's her right hip and left hip. Look how crooked her alignment is. Her rib cage has shifted so far over, an inch over to the left, which then puts a shearing force. That's why the lower discs are wearing out, because the foundation, the house is shifted off the foundation. It's going to wear and crack. So that puts tremendous stress down here, where almost all the time when this is there's a chronic low back aching, soreness, just doesn't feel good type thing. And if that stays like that, this will absolutely wear out about 6 to 10 times faster than normal. And that can be drawn back and corrected. And that's it. So the imbalances, there was one more imbalance up in the neck region, how she has her shift in her low back. It comes back to the center, and then the head, this is the top bone in the neck, the head, upper neck area is shifting over to the left. So her rib cage shifts over to the left, it centers, then her head shifts over to the left. And that doesn't mean she's going to have all left-sided problems or all right-sided problems, but that, again, that side shearing force puts tremendous pressure on the lower disc in the neck. That's what's wearing the discs out faster as well, which then usually puts tremendous tension across the arms, the shoulders, carpal tunnel tingling, or on the computer, your hands are going numb, always tension in the shoulders. You don't know why, you feel like you have to be rubbed out. So that's what I suspect. So we'll wait to see what Jaime says.
All right, hi guys, we're back. I know you guys have seen the first two videos, and we were just discussing some things that you saw on the x-ray, and there are things that correlated with things I didn't even think to tell you.
Yeah.
So one of the things you touched on was, like, you said that I probably had horrible cramps when I was younger that went away. It's exactly what happened.
That's funny. Well, it's not funny, but and the reason I said that is many times when we're young, with a back that's so shifted, disc pressure, early symptoms will be menstrual problems, because that's where it's a new experience you're developing as a woman, and this just goes into haywire. And then over time, it's not that it goes away, because that's probably what it felt like. It went away. Mm-hmm. It transitions into something else. GI problems, gallbladder intestinal problems, bladder problems, and then it's, now I got these. What's the same nerve supply? It just changes. Kind of like kids with ear infections. All have ear infections, when you get, I don't have ear infections anymore, but you have asthma. I chronically wet my bed as a kid until 9. At one point, my body's going to figure it out and adapt. I don't wet my bed anymore, but then I had chronic IBS from 4th grade all the way to high school. So it just changes into a different thing. So.
Well, and what's funny about that is, in my early 20s, I was on a diet for a year of Ensures, because Ensures and waffles were the only thing that I could keep in my stomach, because I had acid reflux so badly. And so Western Meds wanted to put me on Prilosec for the rest of my life. I did get a healing from that, but it's been so long that I hadn't even thought about that until you said it could transition. The cramps would go away and transition into a GI problem. And that's exactly what happened. I just never would have correlated that to being what had happened.
And if you would have stayed on that diet, you'd be dead at this point. I mean, you were so malnourished.
Yes.
With hydrogenated oils and sugars or sucralose. It's pure garbage.
Yes.
Enough to sustain life. But you're sustaining life as you're getting malnourished until you develop disease. And then you die of disease. So thank God.
And one thing that's interesting about that is that period of time I had diarrhea all the time. And people now, I mean, most people talk about having diarrhea and it's a thing that they have.
Yeah.
It's not a thing for me. It just is.
Yeah.
So I don't typically consider that even a symptom because I'm just so used to.
It's part of life.
It is. It's just part of life.
That was my life. I had chronic diarrhea so bad. These spasms would go up inside my stomach and intestine. It would just overtake me. And at times it would be, I had 30 seconds to make it to the bathroom. My aunt had something very similar, so I assumed it was genetic. I assumed though I just inherited that until chiropractic fixed it all. So.
Well, this is a really crappy situation, so we'll get out of this conversation.
Yeah.
If we come up with anything else, we will let you guys know, but it's been really enlightening to see everything come to light, that just how one thing leads to another and you knew it without even knowing.
Yeah.
So
in the structure of the spine, the nerves from the spine are connected to certain organs and certain muscle parts. If that area is breaking down, let's say it's breaking down to the stomach, and we're on these acid reflux meds or an acid reflux diet and an anti-inflammatory diet or supplements, that can maybe calm the symptom down, but it's not correcting it. That's why you need an x-ray of your spine. This is the blueprint. This is structure will affect the function. So if the structure is bad, like in Jaime's low back, the function of those nerves to the bowels, the bladder, the reproductive system will be affected. It's not a mystery. It's not a coincidence. It's a direct problem. So when you get an x-ray, if you haven't had an x-ray, that's why we do our x-rays, and that's why we go through them very precise, very specific, and then we have a plan to actually correct the underlying problem. So one, it heals itself, it restores itself, and then you stay stable for the rest of your life. So.
Well, thank you so much, because I'm super excited, and I feel very empowered to get better. Like it's enlightening to find out there's an actual reason why I feel this way. Yeah. And then it's hopeful that, like, oh my goodness, it's fixable.
Yeah.
It's fixable.
So you'll get to see these videos down the road as she starts to change, because we don't doubt that you're going to see changes. So we're glad
I'm excited. Yes. Bye, guys.
So all of this, your exam, your analysis, the x-rays, the x-ray review, this is what you get with our special. And this is what's being missing in our society, where you go into a doctor, they don't show you this, they tell you. They tell you have a problem and they give you a program or a drug. We show it to you. So when Jaime sees this and sees how imbalanced, she can be certain that's what's causing her hiking pain. That's what's causing this shooting pain. And if it doesn't get fixed, and those two discs, they'll degenerate. I want to be shown. You're going to get that. You're going to get an explanation, the visual. You'll get every picture, and you'll get some game plans on how to fix this, how to correct this, and once and for all, fix this so you in your life, you get your life back, and it gets better.